What's up, YouTube? This is part 3, and moving on to the next one. This has been yet another week without a TV title match. Like I said, instead, earlier he was involved in a tag match, so that was alright, but it just seems like the TV title has lost so much relevancy. Um, you know, I thought it was going to be cool, every week the title being defended, but then just got into repetitive matches, and the belt is doing absolutely nothing on Devon. It could be given to someone else to kind of start pushing their career up, making them look a little better. Because I view the TV title in TNA kind of like being the US or the IC title in WWE. Just something that's going to start pushing your career forward. You're like, hey, I hold this title. It has made several stars look good. And, kind of made him noticed a little bit. But it's just on Devon right now. And it's doing absolutely nothing. It needs to be going to someone who is going to defend it every week. But I'm going to assume that after Bound for Glory, that's going to happen again because most of what's taking up the time is the BFG series matches. So we'll just see where it goes. And Robbie E. cut probably one of the stupidest promos I've ever seen. He comes out there and he's just like, hey guys, I've got 5 points. And he's like, after this weekend, I'm going to have 25 points. And he's like, I know everybody thought I couldn't do it, but I still have a chance. He has no chance at all whatsoever. And he's like, I'm going to throw Jeff Hardy through a table because I already beat him for 5 points, which was a count out after Robbie T got involved in one of his matches. And so Jeff Hardy comes down, knocks Robbie T out of the ring. He's just kind of got Robbie back to a corner, and Robbie T comes back and kind of jumps on Jeff. So I thought it was stupid that they just kind of left Jeff looking weak. But I kind of have a feeling Jeff is going to win that tables match. But I'm going to see where it goes. So yeah, Robbie E, like the title says, he just sucks at life. His career in TNA isn't really going to go anywhere. His gimmick is terrible, his character is terrible, and his wrestling is okay at best. So yeah, nothing special. He's, like I said, not going anywhere. Next up, Kurt beat AJ in a Bound for Glory series match. This was a good back and forth match. I really enjoyed it. Kurt Angle, obviously an excellent performer. AJ Styles, excellent performer. There was nothing to expect but a great match from these two, and that's exactly what they gave us. Kurt came out on top, pinning him for 7 points. It was a lot of good back and forth. You didn't really know who was going to win. I kind of had a feeling Kurt was going to win just because AJ's points are already so low, but other than that, it was a great match. So, really good. This was a knockouts match. It was Tess Mocker versus Gale. Same thing we've seen out of these two already. It was a decent match. Not the best from the knockouts division. I mean, Gale's a great performer. I just think Tess Mocker needed a little more work. Like, a little more polishing on her wrestling. She's kind of, I'm trying to think of the right term, like, not as experienced. Some of her moves are kind of, I guess, clumsy sometimes to me. So, in time, I know it's going to improve, but just for me right now, she's not truly a great performer. And I see them giving the title to Madison Rayne coming up at Hardcore Justice. Next up, Austin Aries and Bobby Roode have set a new stipulation going into Hardcore Justice, and that is that Austin Aries and Bobby Roode, neither one of them will receive a rematch following Hardcore Justice. Okay, now, here's kind of where aces and eights come out to me. A lot of people are, well, not a lot of people, but from the show standpoint, they're trying to make it look like James Storm is in charge of aces and eights. Now, here's what I'm thinking maybe TNA's doing, and this could throw people completely off if it is. I think Austin Aries is in charge of aces and eights. Reason being, if he is, they could possibly get involved at the match at Hardcore Justice and not necessarily attack just Bobby Roode. They could attack both of them to throw everybody off still. They might not, want to let They might want to keep the Aces and Eights thing going on until Bound for Glory, maybe, or past that. I don't know how far TNA is willing to go with this, but say it does go that way, then Austin Aries can make a heel turn going into Bound for Glory. And so that just leaves the possibility of who's going to win the series up to anybody. It doesn't have to be Joe. It doesn't have to be Angle. It doesn't have to be Anderson. It doesn't have to be Hart. It could be anybody. So I think if they go as far as that, it can just make for a really interesting... It could be Storm as well. I'm forgetting him, who's the highest in the BFG series right now. So it could be any of them going into the pay-per-view. So I'm interested to see how WWE is going to go with that. I'm sorry, TNA. And then the last match of the night, Bully Ray beat James Storm in a match, Bound for Glory Series match. It was a great match. Bully Ray, James Storm, both excellent performers. And Bully Ray, even at his age now, is just showing that he still has it, which is great. And James Storm is just like, his career is on a fast track right now, and they're both doing excellent, and they just put on a great performance. I enjoyed it very much. Definitely a good show. Next up, going into SmackDown. SmackDown kind of irritated me on a lot of points, and I guess they kind of helped with some things leading into SummerSlam. So let's go ahead and get to it. Booker T's doing pretty good as a GM so far. So Del Rio comes out saying that he's filed a police report on Sheamus, and Booker T's, well, if he's under crime investigation, he can't defend his title at SummerSlam. So I guess it leads up to them announcing that they're going to do the match tonight instead, Sheamus versus Del Rio for the World Heavyweight title. So that's what's going to be later on in the show. Next up, the match that Booker T announced last week, Sin Cara versus Cody Rhodes. And it was a good match. Botch Cara wasn't doing too bad, doing his signature botches. And Cody just performed excellent as always. It was just disappointing to me that Sin Cara left the win, but it wasn't really a legit win, it was a roll-up. So you can't really count roll-ups as legitimate wins in WWE. They're just a cheap victory. So what I'm assuming is that probably next week, Sin Cara will have a match against someone else, probably completely random, and either during or after the match, Cody's going to attack Sin Cara. And so he's going to leave Sin Cara, on the ground, hurt, and Booker T's probably going to announce that they're going to have a match at SummerSlam. To kind of help fill the card up a little bit, because there's not too many matches announced for. I think it's like 5 matches announced for the pay-per-view, and there's usually more than that. So that could be interesting. And although there's no real point to it, what it's doing is giving Cody Rhodes a feud for the time being. Because, like I said, they want to propel Cody to that World Heavyweight Championship scene. It's just really crowded right now. There's a lot going on, and there's just not a place for him in it. So what they're probably going to do is extend this feud for a while, if not end up creating something else with someone else. But this is what it's looking like the feud is going to be for right now, to kind of keep the momentum for Cody Rhodes going. Next up, Jinder Mahal beats 2 jobbers. Unlike Ryback, where he had both of them in the ring, he had one in the ring at the same time. One in the ring at a time. The first guy just kind of knocked him, threw him on the ground, and put him in the camel clutch for the win. Then he brought the second guy in and put both of them in the camel clutch, kind of just showing off, imitating Ryback. And Ryback comes out. Jinder Mahal leaves the ring, and Ryback does his finisher to the 2 jobbers, as we've seen many times. But what this is doing is it's extending the Jinder Mahal Ryback feud. They're clearly wanting to go somewhere with this, and I think this is a good spotlight and push for both Mahal and Ryback. It's going to make them both seem like strong performers going into this, and it's going to excel their careers, which is good for both of them. But I'm going to stop the video now and continue the next one.